Commercial vessels in the Strait of Juan de Fuca are outfitted with an automatic identification system, which orchestrates the complex handoff of traffic transiting the maritime U.S.-Canada border. Small vessels, however, do not carry AIS and are mostly undetectable by land-based radars. This presents challenges for the limited on-water border protection resources.
I would say it's the smaller boats. They tend to be very evasive in their nature. They can cross freely without any kind of detection capability out there to monitor them. There's different requirements for a small boat than there is for the large cargo ships.
There's upwards of 30,000, 35,000 small vessels a year that cross the border here that we know about. So if they cross the border illegitimately, we have to hope that one of our maritime law enforcement assets encounter them.
Real human asset capacity within this space is limited. It's a very large operating space. It's a very, very big door.
A pilot program has added enhanced radar capabilities, in this case Signalis, to existing infrastructure to see and track these small vessels.
Basically lighting up those areas that were previously dark.
I think it's a resounding success. This gap where the pilot project is operating has been difficult to manage for years for us. That we actually have the visibility is key to our operations in one of the higher risk areas in the Juan de Fuca area.
Anywhere that there is a border, there is a motivation for actors to move things from one side of the border to the other. It could be drugs, it could be firearms, it could be people, it could be money.
We call it not trying to find a needle in a haystack because a haystack looks different than a needle. We call it trying to find a needle in a needle stack.
Since 2014, joint U.S.-Canadian surge events employing the enhanced radar system have seen clearly into areas that were not visible not that long ago.
Essentially what we've done is we've capitalized on utilizing existence resourcing to mold the picture, right? So there's a consistent oversight view utilizing Signalis technology.
So we first got exposed to the enhanced radar from our Canadian partners. They were, telling us about vessel tracks that they could pick up that were showing entries into the United States. And so we wanted to turn that capability on for the United States. So those surge operations that we do every year for the past several years have helped to build a knowledge of what it is that's going on, but we didn't have the whole picture. So now that we have the enhanced radar capability, we're seeing a much bigger picture.
We, the Coast Guard, Customs and Border Protection, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police all operate off this shared system. All three of our agencies have experience and have something to be gained from using this system.
The enhanced radar has provided a shared common operating picture, increased situational awareness, and is an asset multiplier.
From our area of responsibility, as you can see behind us, our entire area of responsibility, which is the Canadian border, we can see in real time what's actually occurring out on the water. That allows the human aspect, as it interfaces with the technology aspect, to make those decisions and determinations on how to best utilize our assets to go after those target sets that we prioritize.
It's also allowed us in certain cases to really not have assets on scene when we knew that we could monitor all traffic around a particular incident with the system, as opposed to deploying an asset and having it sit there on scene just to keep eyes on. We could keep eyes on from here and use our asset elsewhere.
The coastal land border is monitored by the Border Patrol. There are specialized teams now that is what they do. But again, they're not 24/7 and they're not everywhere. So the force multiplier would be something like Signalis. If it was here, if it was operating and it was being manned 24/7, would help those guys greatly.
We are always up against a clock. The speed of the activity based on the time to respond. And so any advancement in our notification, any advancement in that clock on when we find out the activity is occurring that allows us more time to plan that response is an enhancement to our capability.
Besides increasing radar capabilities and coverage, the pilot program has enhanced U.S.-Canadian information sharing and collaboration to secure the maritime border.
Hopefully, this system will continue to expand, not only on the Canadian side, but the United States side, so that we can have a shared picture of our marine environment where a lot of the maritime gaps exist.
Researchers from the University of Washington are working to make certain this cross-border technology can be successfully integrated into the community of users.
We've been collecting data from the Canadian side and from the American side, and looking at, how best can they use Signalis.
Because there are so many different stakeholders meeting in this maritime space, when you bring in a new technology, a new capability, it changes the way you work. Technology is not neutral. It's got to be integrated with work and multiple people's roles, and that's really what figuring out how, when we move forward, this enhances work rather than gets in people's way. That's really important.
I believe a system that is integrated with both the Canadian radar sites and the U.S. radar sites would be hugely beneficial for not only determining the legitimate crossing of small vessel traffic, but the safety and security of all vessels in the area.
What this system does is it provides us as a tool a situational awareness capacity we simply have not had historically.
The last big step forward will be integration of this system into at least the standard Coast Guard laydown, hopefully into a system where Customs and Border Protection can use that as well, and then being able to share that encrypted picture even with Canada, I think would be a massive benefit, so we could truly get onto a single common operating picture.